In the West Point class of 1989, new cadets were assigned a company to which each would belong from their freshman or plebe year and continue in until graduation. Within those companies, they would face drill, exams, military training, hardships, and victories, along with the changes and new beginnings in their personal lives that come with being 20 or so years old. These things and more they lived and shared together, forming lifelong bonds. Each cadet company of the United States Military Academy had its own unique strengths, its own particular character, and its own personality. Only one company had Paul Finken. Paul was a Hawg, a member of Company H1. Born in Iowa and always a son of the heartland, Paul came from a large family and was known for his boldness and sense of humor all his life. He was a son, a brother, and the best of friends to the Hawgs and so many others. He was a soldier, a selfless, skilled, and caring leader of men in and out of combat. Most importantly, Paul Finken was a husband and a father. His love for his family was both enormous and obvious. No one could doubt what mattered most to Paul. Lieutenant Colonel Paul Finken was serving his second tour of duty in Iraq and only days from returning home when he gave his life in the service of his country. On November 2, 2006, America, the Army, and his family lost Paul, as well as Lieutenant Colonel Eric Kruger and Staff Sergeant Joseph Gage. On Veterans Day 2006 in a small town in Iowa, well-wishers from all over gathered to lay Paul to rest. Among them were most of the Hawgs. They made a promise that day to remember Paul, his wife and his daughters, and to do something to help, if they could, someday. This is the story, in part, of that promise, of a bike ride of over 300 miles to raise money for Paul's family, undertaken by people who are now mostly civilians, mostly non-athletes, but all Hawgs.